welcome to the channel, welcome to the video, welcome to Trip Boomers, Tech-Bodge Emporium. You'll have to be patient with me. I've just had a procedure, I suppose they call it. Just sort of like keyhole stuff, messing with my nerves and stuff. I'm uncomfortable, but I've also had a quad espresso shot Americano, so I want to use that energy, and I want to get through this video. We'll have a look at this Gamdias Talos M3 mesh. I don't think it's much difference between the M3 and the E3. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe some size. I don't know. But this mid-sized case with this sort of layout kind of impedes on a few different cases. One being my personal favourite in this sort of genre, and that is. Oh, 1 second. Oh, I can't use that arm. Fractal Focus 2. But when I bought this, I do have a video on this case if you're curious. I still think it's a quality buy. Fractal, you know, they have pretty decent build quality, and you can fit quite a bit in the case. Check out my video. I literally squeezed in a system with 2 GPUs in it. Yeah, it's a decent little case, this. That being said, we're here for this bad boy. So this is my favourite in this sort of genre. However, that was like 66 quid or something, so about $75. Whereas this cost me, I think it was like 54. So it's like 65 bucks. It was on offer, but I think when it's on full price, it's only going to be like 75, $80, or 65 quid, but 60 quid-ish max. So it seems like a good price. So thought we'd have a look at it. So should we? Right. I have opened this so that I should be able to just slide it off. I might need to stand up for this. One moment, guys. Okay, I didn't expect this to be this hard, but I've been somewhat mobile, but holy, that 1 minute, guys. So, I don't know whether this has helped me out. So, this case, so we'll have a look at the packaging first. It says top, so I'm guessing that's the top. Personally, I don't like this hard foam. It's decent. It's going to keep the case okay, but it's good for one good knock. But as soon as it's had one good knock, it's gonna crack. It's gonna break, and then it's gonna allow for an impact to go through, a more severe impact, which could buckle, bend anything inside. And I'm not sure whether this is even a cheaper option these days. I'm sure it can't be too expensive, but it's pressed to shape-ish. I suppose it's not. No, it's possibly pressed to shape, but whereas I think I prefer the sort of like, you know, the more squidgy stuff, and they tend to just have strips of it, and they've made the shape out of the strips. So I prefer that stuff, but I mean, it's gonna protect it for at least one good real big bang, but after that, it's not so protective. We get a little bit of turtle death right here. We'll definitely get an entire sea turtle into this bag, so that's nice. Same again on the bottom, but they are specifically, you know, shaped for each side. So let's get this bag off here, and well, let's get it on the desk, shall we? So I can get it up high, so we can have a proper look at this. Yeah. Oh no, that's for a different video. Coming up. like and subscribe. Thank you. And voila. Oh, that's done a little. Right. Let's have a look what we get, shall we? Well, first off the bat, you get a magnetic filter, which is quite nice. Looks like it's got size run-ins for 120s and 140s, I'm guessing, or so you can step it back. It's got to be in it. I'm going with that. I'd say they're 140s, 120s. So that's nice. What we got going on around the back? Oh, looks like we get a 120 fan in there. You got you take a full ATX obviously because of all these PCIe slots. You've also got a 3-slot vertical mount. I'd say you probably can get away with a 2-slot card, so any new 50 series Founders editions will go in there, because I reckon that's probably going to give you enough breathing space before the glass. I don't know, mileage may vary, but that's kind of cool that it comes fitted with that. It could come in handy for us later on, because I don't tend to build in this case, but I do have a use for it, but that's a different video. Obviously you've got the power supply goes in the bottom. You've got this half at the front here, I think. Front off from the bottom here. Looks like there's a lip. Yep. Kind of feels like you're snapping it, but you're not going to, because yeah, you've got like proper little bolt heads here, and proper little metal clips. So I quite like that solution. Again here on the front here, it comes with two 140 fans as intakes here. So you've got 140 rails, you've got 360 rails here, which is kind of handy. 120 rails and 140 rails. This is obviously going to take 3 140s if you scoot them up a little bit. And yeah, it's easily going to fit another 360 rad up the front here if you wanted to put that in. So there's plenty of nice space there. But it's nice that you get two 140s. So it's already up on the Focus 2, because you only get two 140 fans with that case. But this gives you two 140s and a 120 in the back, and it looks like they're RGB, which is nice. So oh my god! Right, up on here, you've got a pretty basic front I/O, but it's nice to have the separate mic and headphone jack. I like that. Type C, we'll have a look, see if that's an actual proper Type C or whether it's linked through the 3.1, 3.2, 3.0. Right here, we've got 3.0 and we've got Type C, but we'll see if that's through this port or whether it's a proper true USB-C. With a little LED button. Obviously there must be some header to control the lighting, so I'm guessing that's this. But yeah, it's got an alright little power button. So you get this front panel off. I know I'm kind of rushing through this a little bit, but I want to have a look what's in this case. I'm not going to build in it, we're just going to have a look at it. I have another plan for this case. So yeah, we've got captive screws on the back here. I'm saying that the build quality feels really quite solid for the price, you know, guys. Like genuinely solid for the price. This glass panel has got a metal rail front and top. It's not a full frame, but it's definitely going to help with any impact, and it's quite nice for something to, you know, like hook in, mount on. That's pretty decent, you know. I quite like that, and like I said, captive thumb screws in the back there, so that's really nice. And down here we got grommets galore. We got 3 different grommets down here, so you can literally cable manage to your heart's content. You've got 2 grommets that run up the side here. You've even got a big grommet here to run anything through to the front here. You've got a grommet up here for the power for your motherboard, and another one here for any sort of LEDs, RGB connections and stuff usually up in this corner, fan connectors, so you can hide everything behind. Looks like there's a chunky rail to run across the top here on the back for the cables. There's a little bit of spacing back here by looks of things. We'll have a look what storage is like in the back. You can unscrew this front panel off, which is quite nice, obviously for access. You know, the case has got a good bit of girth to it, and as I said, it's pretty solid. Obviously you can have the power supply breathing it from the bottom. It does have a, one second, it does have like a filter there. I'll show you what this is in a second, which is kind of cool. So we'll have a look around the back now, but as you can see inside, the motherboard, it fits pretty much everything up to it. Because it's so wide as well, you're going to be able to get an E80X motherboard in here as well, probably no issues. And it gives you plenty of access, because if you think the power connectors are going to be here, so even if you had a radiator on here, if it was pulled forwards, you're going to still have pretty good access here straight into the power supply. It seems to look like it's going to be quite comfortable and easy to build in. And remember, I paid 54 quid for this, guys. 54 pounds. It's almost a shame what I have in store for it. Right, so shall we get this back panel off and see what it's like around the back of here? See what sort of space we've got to work with for cable management and all that sort of malarkey. So and also, see, I would like to point out that the Focus 2 doesn't have this or this. It just has like a fake little hooked in panel on the back of the front door. So it doesn't have all this separated. This is more sort of like, I can't remember the NZXT model. Or, but yeah, it's nice that this is removable though. It's going to be really handy for my use case for this. Right, let's have a look around the back. We'll be able to see what we got up here properly as well. Ah, there we go. But ladies and gentlemen, the magical connector. That means that this is a true USB-C, and if you've got power that will run through your motherboard into this, you'll be able to get fast charge through this as well. Especially if you've got a motherboard that, like I said, is powered. Some motherboards literally have a separate cable that you have to send into the motherboard to power this. It takes a 6-pin from your power supply. Mileage may vary, but it means that these two USBs are separate and different speeds. So you've got true USB-C speeds up here, and then what's it, like 20 gigabit a second, and I think this one's limited to maybe like 5 or 10. So that's cool. You've got your fan hub that is set up, already wired in to deal with obviously these 3 fans. You've got your 3 fan headers and you've got your 3 ARGB headers. You could probably hook them straight into the motherboard and get control over them. I'm sure we'll look into that in the future. Obviously powered with SATA right there. There is quite a lot of sort of like basement space here, and I quite like this, which is there's a little thumb screw on the side here, and then this there's a bit of the panel on the bottom that you push down and it pops out. Got a double hard drive caddy in there. All I did was that was not pulled out, so it was getting stuck. But it's quite a cool little design, sort of built into the case. As you can see, it slots in here, and this just part of the case, just sort of you depress it. I mean, I could see that probably getting worn out a bit, and you'd have to pop it back up occasionally. But it does just hook it in, and then obviously you got a little another captive thumb screw there. So that's kind of cool. And I know some of you are still rocking that long-term storage. I still rock hard drives as long-term storage. There's nothing wrong with them for that use case. I use SSDs for gaming and stuff like, and my boot drive and stuff like, but I have hard drives for long-term storage because they just last longer, you know. So yeah. All in all, guys, this feels like a you know, like, I'm gonna try and give it some, so I can't. Oh, I forgot to even discuss it, but we do have a SSD caddy there, a little cage there that you can it's just one screw. I think that hooks in that end. Yep. So that hooks in at this end. So you just one screw, unhook that out, throw an SSD on there, throw it back in, and it looks like there's also 4 screw holes here to take another 2 SSDs. So storage wise, just straight off the bat, and there's another spot on the top of here for another SSD, a little 4 spot there. You can see the holes for it. So storage wise, past what you've got on your motherboard, this case also offers you space for 2 hard drives, 1, 2, 3, 4 SSD, 4 cassette style SSDs. That's already elite. You can also, if you so wish, you can mount 120 fans here. There's screw holes here for three 120 fans right across the top here. Especially if you're choosing to put the power supply down, but I suppose that's going to be really close to the back of the power supply, so I'm not sure what any fan here would be pulling off. That's kind of wasted. But I'd maybe move these up and get another 140 in at the front here. It looks like that's not going to be too much of an issue for. There we go. Let me find out. I've got a wonky one. See, look at that, already making use of itself. So, it's your average 360 rad length. You know, it's a bit bananaed, but you know, it'll give us an idea of how much space is needed. There seems to be holes here to take a 140. It's a bit bigger, but it would be very impeded. I wouldn't see the point in putting a 140 over the top of that hole. It's a 120 hole. I would probably cut that, to be honest. I don't like that, but it is what it is. 120 exhaust there would be plenty, especially with like a 360 up here, and like it would be a bit of a squeeze, but I think the fans would just about go in. But I don't think you would get another 140. You might. I think you could just squeeze those right up, and you would just about get everything in. But it would be a bit tight to have a full 360 with fans and 3 140s in the front and keep that 120 at the back there. It would be a bit tight, but I think you would just about manage it. But it would be a bit tight. If you like a full looking case, it would definitely please your eye. Alright guys, let's get this thing back to in one piece. We'll talk about it. This front piece has got a filter on the back of here. I'm guessing you unscrew these screws and it'll just slide its way out so that you can clean it. But it's quite nice. It's got like just this hole. It's quite. I think this filter on the back could do with going, but it's one of those things. It's like, do you want dust control or do you not? Me personally, I'd probably swap it out with some carbon filters, but that's because I vape, and they are the answer to keep your hardware from going sticky icky. But they are quite satisfyingly clicky. Once you get used to what they actually are, and you get past the panic of you're not snapping it, it's not plastic. It's quite satisfyingly held together. It's really quite a solid build, you know, guys. Like, if you can find this case, yeah, for what, 55 quid, $65 or something. Oh my god, guys, this thing's friggin' wicked. Like, the build quality alone, right? It's obviously steel. It's not like it's no fancy materials, but it's just well thought out, well put together. I'm impressed to the point where I kind of feel a bit guilty with what I intend to do with this case, because it's genuinely a good case. Like these holes are really decent. Like the airflow, the openings that they use in this sort of hexagon at the top here looks really open. So once this is off, if you've got a rad on here as an exhaust, you don't want this on during running anyway. This is just to keep the dust off whilst you're not using it, you know. Obviously it's quite a cheap filter, so it's gonna get dints in it if you fold it and stuff like I have, but you know, it's not gonna matter where I'm going. And again on the front here, this may be a little bit tighter, doesn't let quite as much through, and that filter on the inside does cause a prevention of flow through. But it's like, do you want to filter it or do you not? Like, you got to make that decision yourself. No one else can make that decision for you. But in general, the build quality is solid, like solid. I'm actually genuinely impressed, like genuinely impressed. And I didn't think I was going to say that. I'm not going to lie. I thought I was going to say, yeah, do you know what, guys? If you could get it for a good price, then maybe. But I'll be honest with you. I think this at full price is maybe about the same as that Focus 2, 65 quid. So about $80, $75, $80. And do you know what? I actually think that this offers you more than the Focus 2 in storage, in style, in ability. It also offers you an extra fan and their RGB. It's solid. Like, it's a little bit tinny down here, like, but once you've got everything in there, it's not going to be like that, is it? Like, everything's gripped on nicely. All these captive thumb screws. You've got decent front I/O. It will take pretty much any hardware. I mean, what's the length on this thing? Right, you have got to those 140 fans. You've got 400 mil, so you can fit a 400 mil GPU in here. So I don't think there's anything that this case doesn't offer you that you could need, you know. And for the money, like, think how pretty. Look, you know, a build's gonna look pretty in this case. It's a bit grubby. It could have been me. I think the plastic's got a bubble in it. You know, it torn a bit. Anyway, yeah, you can make a really pretty build in this case, guys. So yeah, guys, the Talos M3 mesh or E3 mesh. I did see that. I'll leave a link to it anyway. I'll leave a link to the one I bought. Obviously, it's not sponsored. I've got like 45 subscribers. Love yous all. Loves yous all. Do you want to join them? Do you want to join them? It's a lovely club that we're in. We don't talk, but like and subscribe. I'm hurting, guys. So I'm gonna go. But yeah, grab yourself a bargain. I'll leave a link in the description. Gamdias Talos M3 mesh. What a little case for the money, guys. What a little case for the money. And I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna be able to build a pretty little system in this case. So yeah, cool one, guys. Grab yourself a bargain. See you in the next one, guys. I love you, bye.